Hey guys, it's Sarah, and I am going to finish up my very first mini album for 2017. And I got this done pretty quickly. I think I got it done in 6 sittings, which is pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and finish it up today. I only have these 3 pictures left. And I am going to be doing probably just 2 more spreads and that's it. So I'm really excited to get this done. I did pull a few things from my hip kit that I'm currently using, which is the May and June hip kit together. So I just wanted to show you a couple things here that I pulled from that kit because it goes along really well with what I'm going to be scrapping here, and the colors go really nicely as well. So these are, let's see, these 2 are from Hip Kit. They're die cuts. So I'm going to be using this on kind of the final journaling thing. I really liked the kind of green and blue circle around here, and then it has lines on it for me to do some journaling. So that'll be kind of my final journaling spot. And then I have this one here that says never forget this, and it has orange and blue, and the orange and blue has been going on through my album as well. I have this one here from Dear Lizzie. It says the dream is real. I'll be using that with Lori's picture, which I'll explain when I'm doing that one. And then I have some wood veneer here from, oh gosh, I think it's Jelly Bean Soup made this wood veneer, but I just have one that says awesome. There's a coffee mug. There's a coffee mug in this one, so I'll talk about that, and then just an arrow. So I'm going to be using those things, but those all came from my hip kit, not from the kit that I actually pulled for this album. So just a little fair warning that that stuff is going to make an appearance here, and then I'll obviously still be using my kit. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and finish it up. I'm going to be watching the latest Bones episode, and I'm realizing Bones is ending really soon. It's on their final season, and it's going to be done soon, and I'm going to be so sad. So I'm going to have to probably start reading those books after the show is done because I'm going to need a fix. I really like it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and start with the back side here of this. And I'm going to be doing these 2 pictures here on the same one. So the top is going to be a plate of food that the owners of the venue had cooked for us. They had quite a few of our meals provided for us. It was part of the cost, and they are wonderful cooks. So I took a picture of my breakfast one morning, and all of the food that they made us was fantastic. But that was the only one I had taken a picture of. But so I'm going to talk about that. And then on the bottom, I have a picture of Lori. And that was the night that the Cubs won their game to go to the World Series. So it was like their championship game or something to go to the World Series, and Lori ended up crying, and Heidi was there, and Heidi ended up crying because they are both huge Cubs fans, so it was kind of funny. So I'm going to talk about both of those things here. So I'm going to go with orange for this one because the top part definitely, there's orange in that badge up there that says dinner's ready, and that is from Freckled Fawn. So I'm going to kind of bring the orange in. Now, this is a fantastic cut. However, when I put it down on the orange, it gets a little bit lost. So I'm going to outline it with my pen. I'm literally just going around everything and outlining it so that you can see it much better. And you can tell when I put it down, it looks a lot better. So it just kind of needed that little extra something. All right, so I'm going to put Lori's picture down, and then I'm going to use my quick dry adhesive to put this down as well. And after I put it down, I realized there was a little section that I missed, so I have to go back and do that as soon as I get it down here. But it looks much better outlined for sure. All right, so I'm going to add a little bit more to that one, and I think I'm going to go ahead and do it now. But I want to put something on here that says Cubs win because that is what the picture signifies. I'm not going to do any journaling about it because I don't really have any room, and that's fine. But just putting Cubs win is definitely going to help jog my memory of what the picture is about. So I'm not too worried about anything else. And I'm going to go ahead and cut down a 3x4 card out of this paper again, and I did that on my last spread as well. And I just used the same piece of paper and cut down another little 3x4 card so I can do some journaling about this picture up here. And I'm still trying to think about what I want to do as far as Lori's picture, so that's why I'm kind of moving on here first. But I'm going to use a little piece of pink glitter washi tape and then use this little Love It banner. And I'm going to just leave it at that. And then for this one, I'm going to use the Dinner's Ready and then the little coffee mug. And that coffee mug actually looks very similar to the shape of the coffee mug that's in the picture. It's a little hard to see the coffee mug, but yeah. So I'm just going to stick that there. And then I will do some journaling on that card about the delicious food that they provided for us. And I'm going to use one more of these little hearts, and I'm just going to stick it directly onto the coffee mug just to add a little pop of color there. That's not a heart, that's a flower. Okay, and so now I'm going to go ahead and do my journaling on this card. But the picture, the food in the picture there is some pancakes with apples and walnuts, and it had a caramel sauce too, and some sausage, and it was delicious. Okay, so I'm going to use a little banner sticker here, and that's from Ellie Studio. And then I'm going to use a couple of the hearts and a star, and then this little word that says yes on it, and I'm going to stick that right there. And then I'm trying to decide what I'm going to do. And I'm going to pull out these Ellie Studio gray letter stickers because I have them, and I'm thinking I can write Cubs win somehow on there. I'm thinking about like a label or something, but nothing was really working, and I didn't think it was going to really fit, and that, you know, it got completely lost on that color. So I'm going to end up grabbing just a piece of white cardstock, and I'm going to cut a banner on one side of it because I want it to be like a banner, and then I will use the letter stickers to spell out Cubs win. And it ends up being the perfect height, like my letters fit perfectly on there, even though it was just a little scrap sitting on my desk. But yeah, we had there was a big TV in the crop room there, so when the Cubs were on, we had to all watch it. And it's like, I don't even like baseball, but I was totally getting into it. And it was really cool to see Lori and Heidi so happy as well. Okay, so that fits perfectly. I'm going to go ahead and echo the pink washi tape from up top. And I'm going to layer the Cubs win thing on here. I'm just going to go ahead and stick it on and then cut it down. And I really like the way that that looks. And I still had that card out because I was waiting for my quick dry adhesive in the middle of that flower to dry. Okay, so I'm happy with that. And now I'm going to work on my ending page here, and I'm going to use a full 6x8. And one side is going to have the picture of us, the last picture that I have of all of us, and then the back side is just going to be kind of a, you know, ending page that's going to have just some stuff all over it. So I'm going to use one of these large pieces here, and I'm kind of trying to decide which one I like, and I end up liking this horizontal stripe one because it goes nicely with the colors that are in the picture. And then I'm gonna see what I can do for the back, and then when I turn the paper over, it had a ton of, the back side of that paper was like a black with a bunch of photography words on it. So I'm going to actually end up using that. So I like the way it turned out. All right, so for this one, I have my little journal circle here. I have a punch of the state of Texas that Victoria had let me use, and it's green, so it goes perfectly on here. And I just kind of have little bits and things that I'm going to end up using up on here. I'm going to use some of this green washi tape to kind of give a little grounding space on the bottom here. And that's the last of that washi tape on that card, as you can see. So I'm going to go ahead and put my picture down and just kind of start getting my things stuck down here. Leave myself enough space to write. And then I have this little piece here that says never forget this, and that fits perfectly right there. And then I have this little rubber thing that says heart right now. And I'm also going to use this little heart down here as well. And then I'm also going to use this little banner epoxy sticker that says write it down. And I'm going to use that to start off my journaling here. And I've been wanting to get that used up. So I've had that since 2014. So I finally used it. That's from Freckled Fawn. So I am just journaling kind of my final thoughts and how happy I was I got to go and meet all these women and how much fun we had. And then I'm going to go ahead and use up the rest of, I think I'm going to use up the enamel dots, but first I'm going to put down this wood veneer that says awesome, and it just happens to fit really nicely underneath right here. And I'm pretty positive I used the rest of those enamel dots on here as well, those gray ones. And I'm also going to add that wood veneer arrow. I'm just going through my stuff one more time just to see if there's anything I forgot. But I will use up the rest of these gray enamel dots here, so I'm going to get rid of that package. So I just threw away 2 empty packages. Yay! All right, I'm going to add that wood veneer arrow to the state of Texas. And then I'm going to work on the back side here. So this is going to be my final thing. And I had that little film strip that was a leftover cut from my photo booth pictures. And then I had this little cut from the October afternoon paper there, and it says laugh a little or a lot. And I backed it with some black cardstock just to help it stand out a little bit against the very graphic background there. I'm using some black soot ink here, and I'm just inking up the edges of this so that it helps give it a little bit more of a separation from that paper as well. It's a very, very bold graphic paper, so anything I use around it, I need to make sure I can distinguish it so it doesn't blend in too much. Then I'm going to take this label, I'm going to cut it in half and use it on the top and the bottom just to add a little extra layer there. A little bit more separation. And then I'm going to add this little Texas punch as well. That's the last one that I had. I think I punched 3 or 4, maybe 3 from Victoria, so I used them all up in this album here. So I'm going to ink this one up as well. And I just like how it echoes the pink in the labels there as well. And then I'm going to use a couple of these little cork stickers from the top and the bottom here, just to kind of help your eye flow through it nicely. And then I put them down, and then I realize I need to add some washi tape underneath, so I'm gonna have to pull them up here in a second, but it's okay. I used up the rest of those hearts, so I used up another package right there, so that's a 3rd package that I get to throw away. And then I put down those cork stickers, but I need something else underneath them to kind of help ground them. So I'm gonna take them off real quick, and I'm just gonna add some washi tape. I think I add that yellow washi tape again underneath them, just to help distinguish them a little bit more. Yeah, that helps. I'm going to do that on the bottom here as well. And I wanted to use that one on the bottom that says "so lovely" because I don't sew, so I don't really have another way to use that. But that's going to be it. I'm going to come back here live in a second here and do a final flip through of the entire album for you. Hey guys, it's Sarah, and I just finished my Victoria Marie Scrapbook Retreat mini album. So I'm going to go ahead and do a little flip through here for you. And I'm super excited and pleased about this album. So I used a 6x8 Project Life album, and it came in this really pretty mint color, and it has these little chevron arrows on it. And I used some red line tape to add this Texas wood veneer piece because it was taking place in Texas. And I was concerned about how to apply this because I didn't know what was going to stay. But this red line tape has been wonderful, and I've been trying to push it around a little bit and it's not budging. So red line tape for the win so far. All right, so I'm going to open the album here. This is my opening page, and I have Victoria Marie Scrapbook Retreat. If it looks on the camera like there's no letters there, it's because they're white, as you can see. You can see it much better in person, but it doesn't pick up on camera all that well. And I have the chipboard globe and the little Texas cutout with a little enamel dot on where we were in Texas. This is a picture of the retreat venue here at the Covered Bridge Inn, and I used some transparent words here and just some fun little accents with some washi tape and stickers. This one here, there were 15 people there, so I added a 15 down here, and then I did some journaling about kind of where we were all from, and then I did a silhouette cut of a US map and used enamel dots to signify where we all traveled from. There's not 15 dots on here, as you can tell. I just used kind of one dot to signify people from Texas because I think there were 5 people from this area of Texas here, so I just used one dot to signify those people. But all over the place. We had a Michigan, we had a Pennsylvania, a Mississippi. This is me in New Mexico. We had a California, so all over the place. It was a lot of fun. This is the picture of my trunk right before I left, so all my scrapbooking stuff is in here. Starbucks, getting ready to go. I had to stop by Starbucks on the way out of town. This is a picture of the room that I stayed in. There were 4 or 5 rooms, I think, that we could all bunk in, and this is the one I stayed in, the Santa Fe room. And then I have this calendar here marking the dates. Chickens, the venue owners owned chickens on their property, so they were just kind of walking around and hanging out and all that, so I took some pictures of them. This is Victoria making an album, and I just did some journaling here about how she probably made the least amount of pages the entire weekend because she was busy, like, you know, making sure we were all taken care of, talking to the owners of the venue, making sure everything was good to go. So she didn't make quite as much as everyone else did. But when she did, she made a big formal announcement about it. It was funny. This is me working, just a funny little story about that. This is the gift bag that Victoria had on all of our desk when we got there, so I just cut that out, and I have her little logo that she has there. This is a place we went to eat lunch one day, and I have the business card cut out here and a picture of my food. This is all of us. There were 9 of us that actually went to lunch that day. Not everyone had gone, and not everyone had gotten to the venue yet either. So those of us that were there, we went to lunch and took a picture. This is a picture of the bathroom doors, which are really funny. They're Star Wars themed. This is a picture inside the bathroom. It says, "Employees must wash hands. You should too, but I'm not your mother." And I thought that was really funny, so I took a picture. This is a photo booth strip of me and Heidi and Lori, and we jumped in the photo booth at the restaurant and took some funny pictures. This one here is a little picture of the Scrabble board at the restaurant, and you could kind of spell out whatever you wanted, and Barbara had spelled out Victoria Marie Retreat, so I took a picture of that. This is my little clock thing, which I actually just had to super glue because my daughter got a hold of it and decided to break off one of these ends here. This one, of course, right where this hook is, so I just had to super glue it back together. So hopefully that's going to hold up, but we'll see. But I did take some little chipboard and transparent clocks, and I filled some of these little holes with them. And so I thought that was kind of a nice little intro to this next page, which is all about us staying up until all hours of the night scrapbooking. So one thing I did add on here off camera that I didn't show is I added this little 24/7 chipboard piece right next to the AM PM. So I added that on there, did journaling about that, and then quoted here is about just some funny quotes that we talked, that were said during the retreat that I thought were really funny, and we were all laughing, so I wrote them down in here. There was a lot more than this, but that's just kind of what I ended up writing down. This one here is about Victoria, and that's me and her together. And then this is a little mini album she was working on at the retreat with our picture in there. And so I just journaled about meeting her, and then this is a little note that she wrote on a Project Life card to me. This is me and Angie here, just taking a fun picture, and a big group picture of us out front of the venue. And then this is just some journaling about being there and being with these women and how much fun it was. This one here is about food that the venue owners had cooked for us. They made us quite a few meals and they were delicious. Down here, the dream is real. This is Lori. Lori and Heidi were both really big Cubs fans. So this was a weekend when the Cubs won their championship to go to the World Series, which they later won the World Series. But this is the night that they won to actually go to the World Series. So Lori cried. I think Heidi cried too. They were so happy. And I put the dream is real because, you know, it is. And this one here is just the last picture of us all together. It's the same picture as this one here, except this one we're all standing nicely and this one we're all being crazy. So I did that one here and just put never forget this and awesome. And I used the last or one of the cutouts here of Texas and did some journaling and all that stuff. And then my ending page, no pictures. So I just used this, the back side actually of this paper here was this really pretty graphic with all these camera words. So I use that here. I used a film strip little cut that was left over from another page, and that says laugh a little or a lot, and we definitely laughed a lot. So just kind of embellished that. And that's it, guys. That is my mini album. I'm really, really happy with it. I was concerned about not having enough to fill it up, but I think it's full, like to a good size. As you can see, it's, whoops, I'm trying not to let it fall. If I tip it too much, things will fall out. There we go. That's better. So as you can see, it's full. Not overflowing, but I think it's a good size. So I'm really, really pleased with it. I'm really happy I got it done. So that was my first mini album for Mini Mondays. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. I'm going to take this next week off and kind of figure out what I'm going to do for my next one. So I'll be back in 2 more weeks with another introduction to the next album that I'm going to plan on doing for Mini Mondays. Please let me know down below if you have any questions, and I will talk to you guys again soon. Have a great day. Bye.